Hi everybody, I'm Emily Vocal from the University of Houston's Counseling Psychology PhD program. And this round of posts is primarily supposed to be about match day itself, but just in case there's some extra room, I wanted to include a brief update. So by the end of the whole thing, I ended up with 11 interview offers. I was ecstatic about that, and I ended up turning down one, and then one was just an open house, so 9 interviews. I'm about halfway over the mark at this point. Something for people to consider from that is that some places don't require interviews for different various reasons, and that will be in the brochure typically. You might want to include one or two of those places because scheduling does get tight, as I mentioned before. And so to have a place where you could go to the open house if they have one, or not go if you have another scheduling conflict like I did, that would mean that you'd have a place kind of where they were evaluating your application materials only, and that might be nice to have a couple of those. So something I wanted to talk about today is packing. I over the week have kind of learned some things about packing, and I thought I would share some things you might not have considered. So for packing, a couple things to think about. Lint rollers, maybe like a mini lint roller, or they have these packets where they're like sticky. When you're traveling for a while, your suit in particular can pick up some things, and you want to have something where you can take the lint or other stuff off pretty easily. Also, they sell oil absorbing sheets. Also, when you're running around a lot, sometimes my face can get a little oily, and I like to have these around. They're really cheap, and moleskin is something else that I really like. I remember on my first interview day, I got a blister immediately from walking around a lot, and moleskin is kind of almost feels like fabric if you've never heard of it before. You have to cut it into pieces, but you would put it on a piece of your foot that is prone to get a blister or anything like that, and it acts as kind of like a second skin. So I really like these things, and they're small and easy to pack. Something else I always pack is like a small bottle that has just some generic medications in it, like ibuprofen, Tums, maybe allergy pills if you're prone to allergies. You don't want to have to run to, the drugstore or anything like that when you're traveling a lot. And kind of on those same lines, I tried to keep myself healthy, but I did end up with a cold. So it's nice to have some like multi-symptom cold relief things. I've been gone for almost a week now. I'll be home for 2 days, and then I'll be gone for another week. And I think just the traveling and kind of the stress and everything, I did end up with a cold. So dealing with best I can, but it's something to consider. Also, all of those. What are these called? Shower caps that you get when you go to hotels or anything, or you might even have some at your house. I use them to wrap my shoes in. When I'm traveling, I don't want any dirt from the bottom of my shoes to get all over the rest of my stuff, so I use these to wrap shoes. It's pretty handy. And space bags. If you're like me and you don't want to pay for a checked bag, space bags can really be your friend. You can fit a lot into one bag. And snacks. I think that's important too. Airline food or airport food is pretty expensive, and so wherever I go, I stop at the grocery store that's nearby if I have a rental car and pick up a couple snacks so that I have them with me. I mailed this already, unfortunately, but I also pack thank you cards. This might be a little bit controversial, but I write thank you cards to every site that I go visit. They're generic thank you cards. I don't indicate anything in them about how I'm going to be ranking that site or how I would ask them to rank me. It's just a very simple thank you note, thanking them for their time, noting anything that I thought was really impressive about their site, and that's all. I know a lot of people don't write thank you cards anymore, but I think it's really important. I hope my messages aren't misconstrued in any way. It really is just a thank you for someone's time, thank you for considering me, and best of luck in this process. Some people might choose to do that and some might not. It's just something that I've been doing, is packing pre-addressed, stamped envelopes so that I can write a thank you card after my visit and send it on. Well, I think that's about all for now. I'm about to head home. I'm so thankful that this week is over, even though it was fun, and gear up for my next week-long trip. And I'll be updating you again soon.